Hi everyone, this is Rachel again. I'm an SES 141 at Arizona State University, and today I'm going to be talking about Yeti. So this is Yeti, and he's a tangerine leopard gecko, and he's about a year and a half old now, and he'll probably live to about the age of 20. So these lizards are native to desert regions, and they have a unique ability in comparison to other gecko species to dig. This is in part because they're one of the only terrestrial geckos, meaning they live primarily on the ground and not in the trees. Because he has really strong claws and very muscular arms and legs, he kind of digs himself out a cave where he spends most of his time during the day. Down in the caves is also where he would find his food if he was in the wild. Leopard geckos eat a wide variety of insects in the wild, and they are highly adaptable creatures. So today I want to help you understand a little how Yeti uses his energy from his food and converts it to maintain his body. Yeti's diet consists of many different insects, actually. Dubia roaches, waxworms, hornworms, crickets, and in this case we'll be using mealworms. Yeah. As you can see here, the worms aren't huge. I'll pull one out for you. Yeah, they're not too big. And each of these guys is about 2 calories. And because Yeti's just shy of 2 pounds, he's a pretty large gecko. He actually has a Godzilla gene in him. So he's much bigger than your average male leopard gecko. So because he's so large, he needs about 10 worms every 2 days in order to keep his health up and his body functioning properly. Here's where it gets interesting. So because Yeti's cold-blooded, after he eats the worms, at first his body doesn't quite have the capabilities to process what he's just put into it. So that's why it's important for him to have an underbelly heat source. And Yeti uses a ceramic heat stone. It's about yay big that he's able to lay on, and this helps his blood flow and allows extra blood to rush to his stomach. The heat source also allows his extremities to stay warm while his blood is being used for digestion. So now this tells us that not only is Yeti getting his energy from the worms, but he's also using energy from his heat stone to aid in his digestion. His heat source is constantly on, which means that Yeti requires about 1.2 kilowatts of heat energy a day in order to convert his food energy into body power and body energy. His digestion after he has eaten happens fairly quickly. From the time he eats the worm and it travels through the stomach and through his intestines, it usually excretes in about 24 hours. Because of this quick conversion, Yeti's only really absorbing about 40% of the nutrients, fats, proteins from the mealworms to function every day. The rest is essentially used for digestion and energy conversion or stored in his tissues. If you look here, you can see that he has a really large tail on him. It's like super fat. This is really cool. I mean, it looks awesome. And it's fairly unique to leopard geckos and other closely related species. His tail actually stores about 32 weeks, and that's over 7 months worth of energy at any given time. So if there's ever a time where he's not fed, or, maybe he's stranded in the wild with no food, he's readily able to tap into his tail and use the energy and fats stored in there to help empower his body and keep him comfortably fueled, actually. His big tail tells us that he's able to defer some of that energy he gains from eating insects like these mealworms here and converts it to stored energy. This is pretty remarkable because he's one of the only animals that has this ability to do this and has access to those energy storages as often as needed. As you guys can see, he's a really cool animal, and his anatomy and how it works is quite interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a little more about Yeti here today, and thanks so much for watching.